Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our 2013 NFL Draft Special for the New Orleans Saints. We're going to hand out draft grades, and we're going to take a look at every last selection the Saints made, as well as some undrafted free agents that you want to keep an eye on.
After what happened last season, a lot of guys knew what the Saints had to come into this draft and do. They had to address the defensive side of the football, and they didn't have a second-round selection in a deep defensive draft. Let's see how they were able to work things out. Look at some of their selections. Even when they went to the offensive side of the football with Teron Armstead, that's a solid pick for them. They needed help at the tackle position. Why not get one of the better tackle prospects in the draft in Armstead? But as I alluded to it earlier, what I liked most about this Saints draft, they were able to get defensive early and often. Kenny Vaccaro is going to come in instantly and be a key playmaker for this defense. Not only can he tackle, which is always good, but he actually has the ball skills. Turning around, finding the ball, and getting turnovers. We know how well the Saints offense was in 2009 when they were able to create turnovers, and that's why getting a guy like Vaccaro makes a lot of sense. They're moving to a 3-4 defense, so you have to get a nose tackle. That's why they traded back into the third round to get a guy in John Jenkins, who I think fits perfectly with what they want to do. And keep an eye on 6th-round draft selection Rufus Johnson out of Tarleton State, number 90 at the top of the screen. You see him getting off blocks very well, making plays at or near the line of scrimmage. I can envision him being an outside rusher or a 5 technique or even that contained defender in that new 3-4 defense. Now, what I didn't like about the Saints draft is taking Kenny Stills in round 5. I felt as though there were better options at receiver in round 5 as opposed to Stills. Maybe a guy like Derek Rogers out of Tennessee Tech, a physical specimen that could do a lot of what Colson does in catching the football over the middle of the field. Also, they could have continued to go defense in adding another corner like Jordan Poyer out of Oregon State. So I felt as though Kenny Stills was a typical Sean Payton selection, and they could have went either way, both offense and defense, with some better options. The Saints have a couple of undrafted free agents that could surprise and make the roster. You look at Chase Thomas out of Stanford, outside linebacker. I do not even know how this guy went undrafted. I gave him a 2nd-round grade. Always around the football, making plays for that Stanford Cardinal defense, whether it be rushing a passer or even dropping back in coverage. And also Kevin Reddick out of UNC, a guy that's an inside linebacker thumper, definitely valuable on the early down and distances. And keep an eye on Rod Sweeting out of Georgia Tech, an outstanding corner that has ball skills. You see the theme here. The Saints went out and got corners that can make plays on the ball. Sweeting could find himself seeing a lot of time as a rookie. I'm giving the Saints a solid B for their draft. They were able to make do with what they had. Remember, they didn't have a 2nd-round selection. They had to trade back into the 3rd round to get John Jenkins, and they hit home runs with their undrafted rookie free agents, all of which I think will see time as rookies. So overall, this was a solid draft. They got defensive. That's what they needed to do. I think they're going to be back where they want to be in 2013. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Saint Fan Forums for always showing football game plan support.